Welcome back, friends. I have finally decided to make this video. At first I did not have the words, but something happened yesterday in my personal life that threw me off the edge, and I finally know what I want to say and how I want to say it. I feel like this is a major problem that we are navigating at this day and age, where it's either ghost, be the one who ghosts, or be the one to be ghosted. It makes no fucking sense, and it makes me so sad that as a collective, instead of confronting our feelings, instead of navigating our connections with care and love, we would rather choose to be avoidant, or what we call boundaries, which are actually just emotional walls, refusing to show up with open-heartedness. Because you see, boundaries don't cause neglect. Boundaries don't cause abandonment. And it breaks my heart because I have been on the receiving end of this harm many times this past year, but also beyond that in my life. And I thought something was wrong with me because I was the common factor, I was the common link. But that is not true, because I have had friendships where people do want to work things out or have the uncomfortable conversation where we sort of come to a mutual agreement, whether that is to stop being friends anymore or have limited contact, but we come from mutual love and mutual respect instead of just disappearing out of nowhere or leaving the person hanging and without any accountability whatsoever. God forbid somebody actually shows up wanting confrontation. That is the thing that is seen as weird, or like, whoa dude, calm down, like, you want me to confront you? That's too much. You asking too much out of me. And I'm like, then don't be in a relationship, any kind of relationship, because guess what? Relationships require you to show up to them. They require you to open your mouth and actually say the words and not be so closed off. Relationships require you to be accountable to the way that you show up to them. Does that make sense? I feel like at this point, I feel like I'm the weird one here, because what is this unspoken agreement that is just collectively agreed upon that we have normalized ghosting people? We have normalized ghosting people, and wanting communication, wanting to work on repair is the thing that's uncommon now, and is the thing that makes you the weird one or the alien in the social group. Because how dare you? How dare you ask accountability? I also want to bring in a queer perspective, because I think it's important to mention that queer folks did not grow up having examples or people to look up to in relation to how to know ourselves or how to show up in relation to one another. We had to figure this shit out ourselves. And so that's a lot of labor that happens, not just in isolation, but with other queer people, because we are constantly changing, not just as human beings, which is, yes, true, but also as queer individuals, because we are constantly evolving. So guess what? That requires more work and more of you showing up. I feel so exhausted doing all of this labor showing up with so much care in my connections and receiving nothing back, receiving nothing in return. Literally, it takes the bare minimum to let somebody know that you don't want to be friends with them anymore. It takes the bare minimum to say that you're sorry and that you want to do better, and then to really work on yourself to do better, to show up better, and not just disappear and expect things to just be okay, or the other person to just accept you for who you are despite you causing them consistent harm, consistent neglect. That is not love. And it makes me really sad, especially as an artist who is around a lot of other artists and writers and poets, that we are doing this to each other. We are doing this to each other. Like, as artists, as visionaries, as revolutionaries, we are doing this to each other. We are supposed to be cultural workers who show up to the times that we are living in. You have to be the bridge that carries the future with you in order for it to arrive in the now. You have to be that person. You have to be the trailblazer. You have to be the one to have uncomfortable conversations, to point out the thing that sticks out that no one else is talking about, because guess what? It is taboo to talk about that thing, but you do it anyway, because not only are you an artist, but you are also a queer person, or just any person, human being, wanting to know love, wanting to have a sacred connection with another person. I don't know how or when we reached here as a community, as a collective, that this is just the normal now. And no one wants to hold the other person accountable. No one wants to do repair work. And the thing that makes me the most upset and makes me feel the most heartbroken is that it's not just me losing out on love. It's also the person refusing to show up to care, refusing to be accountable, refusing repair work. They miss out on love too. They miss out on love too. We are more scared of confrontation than we are of missing out on genuine true love. And what a flaw that is. What a flaw, and what a major loss that is for us as part of humanity. What a loss to run the other way. To run the other way and lose out on true love. Because we'd rather protect our egos. We'd rather play social hierarchical games with one another, because saying I love you is too naive. Confessing your true feelings is too naive. And how silly of you. How silly of you to be a truthful, sensitive person and to love in true ways. How silly. How silly. How silly. That makes me sad. That makes me sad. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to record this video, because I've been navigating this sadness for the longest time alone in isolation. And I was wondering just how many of us are also dealing with this, because I would often have conversations with the last few friends I have remained. The last few friends I do have, and they would tell me the same thing, that they are being ghosted, or people don't want to have conversations anymore. They just want to leave. And it's the most heartbreaking how we are more connected than ever before, and yet we are the most separated we've ever been from each other. And this is what the empire wants, isn't it? This is what the empire wants, is for us to be away from each other, for us to maintain the man-made borders that they created for us to keep being isolated and not decolonize our relationships, not recognize how close we are despite the distance, not have our hearts open to each other, because then we would have relational healing, right? Then we would have relational healing and we would be indestructible because we would have trust. We would have each other. We would have communal safety. But then they would be at a disadvantage then. And they don't want that to happen. And so, of course, this is being normalized by all of these platforms, by the way that people show up in the world. Of course, in the age of capitalism that this is happening, it's not a surprise. But this is not a space for me to only criticize the world, which I will probably do for as long as I can breathe. But this is also a place for me to remind you that true connection is the antidote to oppression. True connection is the antidote to oppression. And these are the ways in which we are oppressing each other, and these are the ways in which we are keeping ourselves back from experiencing true love. And we all want love. Let's stop playing. Let's stop playing and pretending. We all want love. We are designed to want love and connection and friendship. We all want love. We all want to be seen and heard and celebrated. Stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. We all want love. We all want love. And I'm sure that feels embarrassing to admit, but would you rather be embarrassed of wanting true love, or would you spend the rest of your life denying yourself something that you desire so badly? Which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it? I ponder upon these questions a lot when I'm alone, and I'm alone a lot by myself. So tell me, which one is it? Would you rather be embarrassed openly admitting that you want love, that you are made of love, which is true, you are, that we are meant for each other, all of us, we are meant to be in oneness with each other? Or would you rather play pretend, be avoidant, and miss out on the thing that you want the most in this life? And don't even get me started on already having love, that one connection. No. We all need an entire village to survive. We all need an entire village to survive, beyond your blood family, beyond your partnership, romantic partnership. You need people. All of us need people. And as a disabled person, I know the importance of needing community beyond romantic partnership and blood family. My friends have saved my life, so I know what it means and how important it is to have community beyond heteronormative structures of oppression. They are so limited. They are so limited. And at this age, when we have the freedom to dream beyond our wildest imagination, you really want to just keep yourself small? Do you really just want to accept what you are given? Or do you want to dare dream bigger than that? Do you want to have the audacity to want more, to demand more of people, of yourself, of the world? Or do you want to keep small, keep being small? Which one? Which one is it? Which one is it? I have a lot to say. This is not right. The way that we are treating each other is not right. The way that we are treating the land is not right. It is not right. It is such a disrespect. It is not right. There is going to be difference. And that is the work, to build capacity for more and more and more and more difference. To build capacity to hold more. That is the work. That is the work. That is what repair work is. To hold more. To be able to hold a reality that is so different than your own. That is care work. That is grief work. That is transformative justice. And if you follow my work, you know that I make art and write about revolutionary love, transformative justice, and relational repair. That is at the core of what I do. Abolition. Abolition is my pedagogy. The way that we are treating each other is so disrespectful, and it pains me because we could have so much more. We could have so much more. And at this point, it feels like we're not even trying. We're not even doing the bare minimum. We're just not even attempting anything. We don't want to do the work. It's either we're completely avoidant to the work, or we want to play morally superior because that is the most in thing online right now, is to play morally superior and have your social popularity hierarchies. You know, that's the in thing right now, instead of remaining humble and being challenged by life and each other. Because how else are we going to expand? How else are we going to expand if not let ourselves be challenged by each other? How else? That is the gift of connection. That is the gift of connection, to meet someone who challenges you, and then to expand your heart so you can hold both your own and their reality as if it were your own. That is love. That is divine love. To hold another's reality with such reverence and care. That is divine love. We are missing out on so much. And honestly, for the longest time, I held myself back from love because I was coming from trauma as well. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect now. I'm not. But I refuse to stop doing the work. Which doesn't mean that I'm gonna shame myself into doing it. That's not how it works. You have to love where you're at, and you have to keep your heart open to keep growing from there. You cannot self-hate your way into healing. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. And I keep telling the people I care about, which is everybody, honestly. I have so much love for humanity, but also I despise the way that we have normalized causing each other pain. But I keep telling the people I love and the ones who are close to me that, you know, you have to accept yourself. You have to accept whatever has happened to you, whether that is trauma, relational harm, abuse, whatever has happened to you, you have to accept it. At the end of the day, you have to forgive yourself. You have to lessen the burden that you are carrying. You have to lessen the burden that you are carrying and really lean into what life has to offer. And I promise you, there is so much that life has to offer. There is so much. I have been chronically ill since the past 2.5 years, mostly homebound. Can barely see people on most days except my parent, and I've learned so much. I've learned so much about the world these past 2 years. I have learned so much about love and care these past 2 years. It has changed my life. And so this video is just kind of like a starting point, I think, at me exploring what it means to not only be a trauma survivor, but also to continue doing the work. What it means to truly unlearn harm and to not perpetuate harm onto other people. To show up different when necessary. To love myself through it all. To never stop loving. Truly, to never stop loving. I have a lot of compassion for the ones who don't know how to do this in the right way or the perfect way. But I want you to know that there is no perfect way. We are all figuring this shit out right now, actively. But when you avoid doing it altogether, not only do you miss out on essential relational healing work, but you also cause harm to the other person who you are leaving behind, ultimately. I feel for you, I have compassion for you, but at the same time, we cannot avoid doing this work. To the ones who perceive leaving without a word as a boundary, it's not a boundary. Boundaries are not passive aggressive. Boundaries are openly communicated. Boundaries don't cause abandonment or neglect. Boundaries help you feel safe and help you love yourself and somebody else better. That's what boundaries are. Boundaries don't perpetuate systemic harm. Leaving does. Leaving does. Ghosting does. Not letting your friend know that you don't want to be friends with them anymore does. That is harm. Not letting the person you otherwise confess to love, letting them know that you can't show up in the ways that they want or need, that is harm. There's only so long that we can deny what we have caused. You know what James Baldwin once said, right? That we don't, and I'm gonna mess this up, but he said something around the lines of, we don't save each other often, but sometimes we do. And I think that it is absolutely possible for us to save each other and to take that chance, to risk it, to take the risk for it, truly. And I also have a lot of compassion for the ones who find it really hard to look at themselves in the mirror, which is that holding yourself accountable is hard. It is supposed to be hard, but that is also the work. That is also hard work that not only saves someone else, but also saves you. We could really save each other a lot of pain. And why wouldn't we want to live in a more loving world? Why wouldn't we want to live in a more just world? Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? This video is my offering of love to the world and for anybody who comes across it. It's the most honest I've ever been, so I hope that it resonates. And if you feel triggered by it, then I hope that you will take a minute and that you will open your heart and receive the messages with care and compassion instead of getting defensive. I hope that we can meet each other in the middle and change ourselves into the future that we dream of. Because believe it or not, it is here. It's here. And you know what? It's inside of you. Right this moment, it's inside of you, the future. You brought it with yourself when you came into this world. It's inside of you. So I hope that you will tap into that source energy because it is always available to us. Always, always, always available to us. And you will love a little harder today Promise me that you will love a little harder today. If there's anything that I want from this world and from people, is for them to love harder. That's all I want. Please love harder. So no amount of love is enough. Always love harder. I love you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one. Love you.